Welcome to the MS Gym podcast, where we give you the tools to live life by design, not by diagnosis. I'm your host, Brooke Slick, and here we go. One of the many advantages to belonging to the MS Gym community is getting to listen to Jody Feltham's weekly Motivation Monday video on the MS Gym's Facebook page. This week's episode was so thought-provoking. I knew it was one that our listeners needed to hear. I contacted Jody right away, and she was more than happy to let me use it for an episode of the MS Gym podcast. We can't thank Jody enough for her continued contribution to the MS Gym and its members. Now, let's put our crystal balls down and let Jody put things into perspective for us.
Hi there. Thank you for joining me for Motivation Monday. So today here in Ontario, Canada, it is an absolutely incredible, beautiful, sunny day out. It's definitely the highest that we've seen in quite a long time. It's 21 degrees Celsius outside, which is amazing. And I got out a little bit to enjoy the sun, and afterwards I'm going to go back out and soak up the rays again. So glad you're here with me today. So today I want to kind of combine a few different Motivation Mondays into today's topic. So I know in the past we've done a talk about getting stuck in the used tos, and that's what happens when we focus on the past, when we look back to what we used to be able to do, or the things that we did before, and we feel like we can't do them anymore. And the problem with going back to the past is that we're not the same person anymore. And sometimes we can't do the things that we used to do, but when we're always looking backwards, we get stuck and we become powerless. We can't do anything right now because we're so focused on looking backwards, not looking to the present moment. So I know in MS, it's a very common thing to look at the used tos. I know that, the neurologist likes to use things like that as a predictor of, the treatment or whatever treatment we've chosen, whether medicine or not medicine, to tell about, the disease and its progression. But it does very little value to help us in the here and now. And I know I've said before that I get stuck sometimes in the used tos, or if only I had or only I hadn't. And I know for myself, sometimes some of the treatments that I've done in the far past, I've kicked myself so many times and thought, man, if I had only not switched disease-modifying drugs, maybe I wouldn't have lost out so much. Maybe I'd still be running. Maybe I'd still be walking unassisted. And you know what? That it doesn't feel good. And you know what? There's no way to know. We can't know the past based on different decisions. And the point of it is it's totally futile because I can't do anything to go back and change it. So like I said, living in the past just gets us stuck. And it's interesting because I had HSCT done 18 months ago. And, people are always asking, oh, did it work for you? Are you getting better? And, obviously, that's a point of encouragement. And maybe people are wanting to know, is that something that they should pursue? And I have to say, though, sometimes when I reflect on that, it drags me back to the past, and it drags me back to that place of, comparing myself and saying, okay, well, 18 months ago, could I have done this? Or was I using a walker in my home 18 months ago? Or what was I doing? Or how far could I walk? Or all of those things. And like I said, it can get you stuck and not living in the present moment. So living in the past, it can steal the victories that you have in the present because you're so looking back and thinking, wow, I used to be able to do that. And you're not looking at the things that you can accomplish right now. So we talked about the futility of that, and we talked about the danger of comparison. And comparison is when we not only compared to our past, but also when we compare to other people. And again, all of these things, I'm preaching to the choir here because I've gotten stuck in those things, and every now and then they trip me up. I have 2 friends that lived pretty close to where I used to live, and they both did the same treatment that I did. They both did Limtrada. And when I met them, I was the one who was working full-time, walking freely, like not really living with much limitation. And the 2 of them were struggling with mobility and other things, and they went through the treatment. And I have to say they did well. The one ended up getting pregnant and having a beautiful baby boy, and the other, now she kind of runs her own business for installing baby seats. So I look at them and I say, wow, what a success. And then, when I look back, I think, man, I kind of went the other way. They got their life back, and the treatment didn't do anything necessarily good for me. So comparison to ourselves from the past steals our victories, and comparison to others steals our joy. So neither are productive. So something else that we do too is we either look to the past or we try to live in the future. And a common discussion in cognitive behavior therapy is cognitive distortion is called crystal balling. And that's when we try to, like a psychic, we try to use the crystal ball and try to predict the future. And the truth of it is we can't predict the future any more than what we can control it. And, it's important to have goals and dreams for the future. But to get stuck in that as well, worrying about what could happen, chances are when we crystal ball things, for the most part, it's probably for the negative. Like, I have MS, I'm secondary progressive, like, that awful path that it goes down if you let your mind go there. And crystal balling the future doesn't necessarily look so good. And it's ironic that we do that for the negative, but how many of us crystal ball thinking, wow, it's very possible in the next 20 years they could have a cure for MS. So again, either way, we don't know what the future is, and we can't predict it. And the thing is too, we don't know what, the future is going to look like for our own health in the next 6 months. And we certainly don't know what it's going to look like for the world in 6 months, Lord willing, the virus, the coronavirus will be, everyone will have hit that curve, and, we'll be able to go back to life, as it won't be normal. It will be a different normal. But, hopefully life in some regard will get back to, something that resembles what we used to have. But we don't know. And living in the fear of the future, and with MS, it's like a double fold thing, because it's not only, will I be able to go away on vacation again? Will I be able to travel, with everything with the corona? But it's not only that, like, will the plane actually take me there? But with MS, it's also, will my body allow me to actually go on holidays? So regardless, I've said before, we're kind of used to this dance. We don't know what the future holds. Sometimes we have to take life, minute by minute, hour by hour. And if you're like me, you've realized that looking into, trying to crystal ball the future, it does nothing for us in the present moment. It can get us stuck either way. We can get stuck looking back, we can get stuck looking forward. So the only place to be is in the present moment. I read an amazing, I don't know if it's a quote or just from a book today, and I want to read it to you because it really impacted me and my husband as well. It says, when you or others gaze into the future, making predictions. You are simply exercising your imagination. While you walk forward on the red carpet of time, you never set foot on anything but the present moment. Recognizing the futility of future gazing can help set you free to live more fully in the present. And wow, that blew my mind. And I've been thinking about that all day long. Like, what a gift those words are about the whole concept of when, it's looking forward, looking ahead to the future. It's crystal balling. It's using our imagination because we don't know, what lies ahead. We don't even know what lies ahead tomorrow. So, all the time and effort we either waste looking back or looking to a future that we have no way of predicting is futile. And we use all the energy that we could use in this present moment, trying to figure out what's to come next. So Trevor did a great talk this week in the Members Only Corner. And he talked about a lot of the issues that we're going through, especially with, the coronavirus and our threat buckets being full. One of the points that really impacted me, and he's done a talk on it before, he talked about how often we can be results obsessed instead of effort focused. And, that's exactly what it is, right? When we're results obsessed, we're looking into the future as opposed to being effort focused, where we're looking at the here and now. So it's all about the day-to-day daily effort that we put into our diet, into our exercise, into our mindset and relationships. Those are the things that we actually do have control of. We don't need to crystal ball or anything, right? We have control in this moment in the choices that we make. Today is the only thing that we are actually guaranteed. So I often think about that because, like I said, I am so human, and I am so grateful for so many kind of MS veterans. I've had the disease for about 10 years, but there's so many veterans and warriors in here that, I reach out to at times when I'm struggling or getting stuck in the past or things like that. Just about, how to push on, how to keep motivated. And they always say, stay in the present moment, live in the present moment. And so I think about it day to day when my mind tries to go there. I think, at the end of the day, when I look in the mirror or when I look at my Apple Watch, I want to be proud of what I've chosen to do today. I want to be proud of, regardless of the struggles that maybe I woke up with or whether I didn't get enough sleep. I want to be proud that I chose to move my body in whatever way that my body would allow me to move, that day. And every day will be different, right? We can't predict what tomorrow will be like. And, today might be better than yesterday. It might be worse than yesterday, or it could be either of those tomorrow, but we just don't know. So, most of us, we wouldn't have chosen to get MS, and certainly MS is not one of those things that I want. I would be very glad to pass it on, but I can't choose it anymore than I can, choose my future. I don't have the power to suddenly take it away, but I can do, whatever's in my power to make today the best day that it can be. And, at the end of the day, will I rise up to the challenges that are put before me each day, or will I cower in front of them? And so a lot of things I'm throwing out there. I want to end with, and I know you guys have all heard the Serenity Prayer before, and I know that we're all from different belief systems and everything. But they often use this actually at AA meetings, because they realize that it has to be something greater than us ourselves that can help us to push forward. So the serenity prayer goes, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that, I'm sure you've all heard that so many times, but that's exactly, I think about that all the time. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I cannot change that I have MS. I cannot change the fact that, that it's taken a few things away from me that I wish it hadn't. But I can have the courage to change the things that are in my control. We talked about that: exercise, diet, mindset. All those things are under my control. And it's interesting, it takes courage to do that. So every day, it takes courage to choose those things that will bring us life in this moment. So my challenge to you is, my question to you is, what of the statements is actually harder for you to process? Is the phrase about accepting harder, or is the phrase about having courage, is that more challenging to you in your day-to-day? So I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out in the comments, and please get out and enjoy the sunshine, whatever part of the world you're in or whatever capacity that looks like. Enjoy the day. Be glad for that beautiful sunshine, and I'll see you next week.
For more information on the MS Gym, check them out at themsgym.com, on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you'd like to know what I've been up to lately, you can find me at brookslick.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of the MS Gym podcast.